Picture this. You sit down at your computer, but instead of typing out a dozen different searches, opening a million tabs, and building a messy spreadsheet, you just say, "Plan my trip to New York." Now, normally, a large language model might just spit out a list of travel blogs or maybe give you a generic itinerary. But imagine a system that goes way beyond just generating text and actually gets to work. It interfaces directly with airline databases to find flights that fit your calendar, compares real-time hotel availability, builds a custom itinerary based exactly on what you like, actually buys the tickets, and pushes all those confirmed dates right into your calendar. And it does all of this entirely on its own. Now, I know that sounds a little bit like science fiction, but this is the very real paradigm shift behind AI agents. Experts are saying these systems are the next critical evolution in computing. But what actually makes an AI agent different from the chatbots we're already used to? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pop the hood on AI agents, break down exactly how they work, and see why they are the next major leap in tech.
So let's dive into how an AI agent fundamentally works. Think about the flow of information. On the input side, you've got sensors or data coming in. In a digital world, this could be the text you type, an API feed, or even screen reading software. In the physical world, it might be cameras and microphones. All that incoming data flows right into the core reasoning engine, which is the AI agent itself. This engine uses large language models, logic frameworks, and a specific knowledge base to understand the context and actually make a decision. But here is where the magic happens. The flow continues outward, toward actuators or output. This means the AI takes a real-world action. It crosses that massive boundary from just thinking to actually executing. Whether it's a virtual assistant triggering a payment, a self-driving car physically turning a steering wheel, or software deploying a line of code. It takes in data, reasons through all the variables, and then acts on its environment.
If we really want to distill this down to a single sentence, it's this. An AI agent is a system that takes action to complete goals for you. It's that massive shift from a machine that just talks to a machine that actually does. Think about the standard AI models we're all using today. They're basically highly sophisticated oracles, right? You give them a prompt, and they synthesize an answer. They generate text, code, or images, but their job completely ends the absolute second that output hits your screen. AI agents, on the other hand, maintain a state. They have an objective, and they actively interface with the digital world to get it done. Building a system that actually does something is technically way more complex because it means managing permissions, handling sudden errors on the fly, and having the confidence to execute a task without you constantly holding its hand.
To really see this shift in action, let's use something we all understand: ordering a pizza. If you ask a standard AI model for help, it acts like a really knowledgeable friend. It scans its data and says, "Hey, here are the top 3 highest-rated pizza places within a 5-mile radius." And hey, that's undeniably helpful. But the actual execution? That still falls entirely on your shoulders. You have to go to the website, build your order, type in your credit card details, and track the delivery. Now, imagine a totally different dynamic. You tell an agentic system you're hungry for pizza, and the agent responds, "I pinged the highest-rated spot nearby, ordered your usual large pepperoni, authorized the payment, and it will be at your door in exactly 20 minutes." See the difference? The system didn't just give you data. It navigated the real world and finished the job all on its own.
Now, this is actually a major point of confusion for a lot of folks. People assume that large language models like ChatGPT and AI agents are the exact same thing. And while they're deeply related, their architecture serves entirely different purposes. Think of a standard LLM as being optimized for conversation and fetching information. If you ask it how to scrape data from a website, it will helpfully write out a nice Python script for you. But an AI agent? That is built for action and automation. If you ask an agent to scrape that same website, it writes the script, runs the code locally, realizes there's a syntax error, rewrites the code to fix the bug, runs it again, and then just hands you the final clean CSV file. The agent is basically using the LLM as its brain, but it wraps it in a framework that lets it plan, decide, iterate, and interact with the outside world.
So how do they pull this off? Most AI agents execute tasks by following a pretty logical, continuous loop. Goal, plan, action, result. Let's put this into a practical scenario, like buying some new hardware. You give your agent a directive. Find me the best reviewed gaming laptop under $1,500. Step 1. The agent understands the goal, parsing out your price limit, the category, and what sentiment to look for. Step 2. It makes a plan. It figures out it needs to check major tech retailers, cross-reference benchmark scores, and read user reviews to filter out all that sponsored junk. Step 3 is the action phase, and honestly, this is where agents shine. The agent actively talks to APIs, interacts with web pages, sorts through messy data, and puts together a solid list of candidates. Finally, step 4, the result. It presents you with the absolute best choice, and if you give it the green light, it loops right back into the action phase and buys it for you.
The everyday applications here are wild. Picture having an AI tutor that's seamlessly plugged into your whole educational workflow. Instead of just giving you the answer to an algebra problem, an agentic tutor looks at how you've done in the past, finds exactly where you're struggling, dynamically builds a custom study schedule for your next exam, creates practice quizzes, and tracks your progress. Or think about your daily routine. By the time you sit down at your desk with your morning coffee, a proactive agent has already reviewed your inbox, checked your calendar, moved your low-priority meetings to make room for a sudden deadline, and pulled up the 3 critical documents you need for your 10 a.m. call. It takes our personal tech from just being a reactive tool we use to a proactive manager handling our tasks.
And think about having the ultimate logistical assistant right in your pocket. Did you know the average person spends between 10 and 20 hours researching, comparing, and organizing all the details for a major vacation? It is a highly fragmented, frustrating process. An AI agent can blast through that exact same workflow in seconds. It can tirelessly compare crazy complex flight routes, filter hotels based on your specific aesthetic tastes, build a day-by-day itinerary that actually makes geographical sense, and even monitor for price drops to automatically get you a refund. Over in the e-commerce world, it acts like your hyper-vigilant proxy. It hunts down active discount codes, watches supply chains so you don't miss out on limited restocks, and speeds through checkout way faster than humanly possible.
But when we zoom out to the business sector, the implications are absolutely massive. We are talking about a fundamental restructuring of how companies operate. Customer service tickets that usually require a human to untangle can be handled end-to-end by agents that are authorized to check billing systems and issue refunds based on company policy. Data analysis transforms from this miserable multi-day process of wrangling spreadsheets into a simple spoken request. Hey, analyze last quarter's churn rate and put together a slide deck with key retention strategies. This goes way beyond just saving a little time. This is about shifting human effort away from boring data entry and administrative bottlenecks, freeing us up to focus entirely on high-level strategy and building real relationships.
Now, with all this talk about AI making independent plans and taking autonomous actions, we inevitably hit a pretty big philosophical question. Do these systems actually think like us? Are they sentient? Let me give you the definitive answer. No. It is so important to look past the sci-fi hype here. These agents do not possess consciousness, emotional intelligence, or their own intrinsic motivations. An AI agent does not wake up in the morning having an existential crisis about its purpose in life. What they are remarkably sophisticated engines for pattern matching and heuristic evaluation. They simulate reasoning by predicting the absolute best next step to satisfy a math equation. They are incredibly capable, sure, but at the end of the day, they're still just deterministic software executing code.
The real reason the tech industry is buzzing about this right now all boils down to one concept: collapsed workflows. Because let's face it, time is the one unrenewable resource we have. Every digital task you do, whether you're buying a laptop or putting together a weekly marketing report, requires stringing together dozens of annoying micro-actions, opening tabs, verifying passwords, copying, pasting, formatting, reading reviews. The true superpower of an AI agent is its ability to collapse those 20 tedious manual steps into a single high-level command. When you delegate that digital grunt work to a system that processes information at machine speed, the compounding value of the time you save over a week, a month, or a year, it's absolutely staggering.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Handing over the keys to execution introduces some serious risks, and we've got to stay grounded here. First up, reliability. Agents can still hallucinate or run the wrong code. Second, privacy and security are absolutely paramount. Think about it. If an agent needs read and write access to your email, your calendar, and your bank accounts to actually be useful, the security protecting that system has to be flawless. And finally, there's the very real danger of bad decisions because of a simple misunderstanding. If you just casually tell an agent to book the cheapest possible route to London, it might execute that flawlessly by booking you on a miserable 3 a.m. flight with 3 separate layovers. Oops. And that right there is exactly why the industry relies heavily on human-in-the-loop oversight, making sure you actually authorize those high-stakes actions before they happen. As we look just a little bit into the future, having these agentic systems around is going to become as totally normal as having a smartphone. They'll just be this constant underlying layer of digital infrastructure, quietly optimizing our productivity, logistics, and planning in the background. Ultimately, the entire computing paradigm is shifting. Regular AI talks, but AI agents do. As this tech matures and weaves its way into our daily lives, that jump from just generating information to actually taking action is going to fundamentally change how we interact with the digital world forever.
So the next time you see a headline declaring AI agents as the next frontier, you'll know exactly how the machinery underneath it works.
So today we completely unpacked the mechanics of AI agents. We explored how they transition from just giving you information to actually doing real-world tasks, the step-by-step loops they use to reason, and the incredible ways they are going to optimize our time, along with the very real security risks we need to keep an eye on. I hope breaking it down this way made a pretty complex topic crystal clear for you. But it does leave us with one massive question. If AI agents eventually take over all our mundane digital tasks, our scheduling, our research, and our logistics, what exactly are we going to do with all our newfound free time? Will it push human creativity to amazing new heights? Are we just going to become totally dependent on our digital assistants? Definitely something to think about. Let me know what complex tech topic we should dive into next, and I'll see you in the next explainer.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.
If you're curious how I create these videos, from AI voiceovers to video editing and research, you'll find my complete toolkit in the description.